guys, this is Pete coming at you with another episode of North Florida Smoke. This is my buddy Jack. Say hi, Jack. Jack's gonna help me out today making our pickle poppers and Texas Twinkies. You excited? Yeah, all right, well, let's get it started. Thanks for taking the time to check us out. Please make sure to like, rate, and subscribe, and we'll have plenty more videos for you going forward. My buddy Jack and I are happy to be joining you here, and thanks for checking us out. Okay, so I've got my food processor here. I've taken my leftover short ribs, and to that, I'm gonna add probably about a little over a half a cup of mozzarella cheese. And then in our microwave, I have been softening some cream cheese. So I'll get that thrown in there. So I've got my cream cheese in here. I've got about a little over half a cup of our mozzarella cheese. And then into that, I'm gonna add some of that Holy Voodoo, probably a little over a tablespoon of that. And I'm going to put our cover on here. And I'm gonna start pulsing this. So I still want some grit to this, but I want to get it mostly pulsed up. So once this is good and combined there, I'll kind of just give it one run through to make sure all my big pieces of short rib or brisket are chopped up. You can use brisket, you can use short ribs. If you're from Texas, you can stuff a jalapeno with absolutely anything. But what we're gonna stuff it with today are these leftover short ribs, and then we're gonna do both some pickles and some jalapenos. So let's go over to the sink and get our jalapenos cleaned up. Hey guys, it's time to put together our jalapenos. So I tried to get some decent sized ones, and I did a pretty good job. So you can see there, you don't want the tiny little jalapenos, and that's because they're harder to stuff. So I'm gonna take my sharp paring knife, and I'm going to take the top right off of that jalapeno, and then I'm just gonna cut down one side of it. And I'm gonna open it up like this, and it's okay if it splits through, just try not to let it split all the way in half, because you wanna kinda keep it together. So I'm gonna take a little bit of the guts out of the center there, and then I'm gonna use the sink, and I'm gonna rinse out all those seeds. So if you keep the seeds in, you're gonna get a lot more heat in these jalapenos. So I'm gonna take those seeds out. We'll get those on. I'm gonna take my gloves off. These are gonna go straight in the trash. Okay, let's add some pickles to the mix here. So we've got some kosher dill pickles, and these are great. The Mount Olive ones that come in like the really big jar, those are great to be able to stuff just because they're big enough. You don't want the ones in the tiny little jar. So what I'm gonna do is split this down the center, the same as I did with our jalapeno, but I'm just gonna gently pry this open, and I'm gonna use a spoon, and I'm just gonna come in here and scoop out some of these seeds and some of the middle here. And this is just gonna give me a little cavity that I can stuff. So you'll see it's kind of scooped out. I'm not gonna take out too much, just enough so that there's a cavity in there for when I'm done. And I'll add these to a bowl. And we're good to go. We've got our pickles, we've got our jalapeno, and then we've got our filling over here. We're gonna start with our jalapenos there. That's why we've got our gloves on again. So we're gonna take those and just kind of hold them open with our thumb and take a little spoonful of this filling and just go right inside there. And I'm just gonna push it in with my thumb and kind of just hold it closed. I don't wanna overstuff them because that's all gonna just come oozing out there. So if you want to wrap something in bacon, look no further than Costco. Costco, with their Kirkland bacon, it's always super straight. It's great to wrap stuff in. So I do a lot of bacon wrapped chicken. Like I'll stuff the chicken breast or stuff some pork, and I'll use bacon. And this is just nice and straight. It's always consistent, so you don't get that stringy crap that's hard to wrap with. These are all looking good here. I might grab out some toothpicks. So I've got those on standby to close them up. So I've got some toothpicks. I'll grab a cookie sheet to put these on when they're done. And now I'm gonna take a piece of bacon, just kind of split up a few of them. Take our jalapeno and I'll start at the top and I'll go right around, and hopefully it'll make it most of the way back around. So I'll let that kind of wrap over itself. And I'll take our toothpick and I'm gonna go through the side of the jalapeno and into the other side. So you can see it goes through each side here, but that's gonna hold our piece of bacon in place. It's also gonna hold this jalapeno closed. So now we'll show you a pickle. Take our piece of bacon, start it from the top here. If the pickles are large, you may end up needing 2 pieces of bacon, but that's enough coverage for me. So what I'll do is just come in the back here and I'll go through that pickle. So that's gonna still hold that and hold the bacon in place. So we'll get the rest of these done up here. So I got these all wrapped up here. Now I'm just gonna season them up with some Holy Voodoo. It's gonna go onto each one of these, and then we'll get our smoker preheated and start cooking them. Season on the one side there. I'm just gonna pick them up to do the rest of it. All right guys, here are our poppers. So we've got some Texas Twinkies here on the left. We've got our pickle poppers on the right. So we'll go ahead and get these onto our smoker here. So this thing is preheated at 320 degrees, and that's gonna be enough to crisp up my bacon. So I'm just gonna keep my jalapenos kind of organized together. And then we'll do the same thing with our pickles. We got Wild Man Jack keeping it real in the background. All right, everything's on, so it's all looking good there. I'll give you an idea. Take you inside. Everything's looking good. These are gonna go for about 45 minutes, and I want that bacon to crisp up nicely. So we're gonna let this roll. If we need to bump up that temperature a little bit more, we will, because we're versatile, baby. Okay guys, let's check in on our poppers. Ooh, those are looking good. They're starting to kind of ooze out a little bit here. They've been on just about long enough, so I'm gonna be ready to pull those off. And I'm gonna get them crisped up a little bit more. We'll show you a little trick on those. All right, so here's a little trick. If we don't like how crisped up our bacon is, we take our culinary torch and just hit the outside of it a little bit. This is gonna take care of business for me. So, after you get done smoking your meth, you take your torch out to the patio and you blast it on these babies. All right, let's get these off here. Inside, let them cool down for a few minutes, and then we're gonna go ahead and chow down. All right, so here are our poppers. They're looking fantastic. Can't wait to get into these. Gotta let them cool down because these are molten hot lava that will burn the shit out of you. So careful, folks. Here's our popper pickles here. Pickle poppers. Hello. It's like a Big Mac. It's delicious. Thanks for checking us out here on another episode of North Florida Smoke. Please make sure to like, rate, and subscribe, and we will see you next time.